Hey, it's Friday night, which means it's time for another episode of the Friday Night Nicktoons podcast. I'm Ashli.
And I'm Casey. We want to just take a quick moment to thank you all for your patience over the last month or so. We delivered a steady, 40 episodes in a row without missing a week. We're very proud of that. However, it did get the best of us. There's no behind-the-scenes drama. There's no secret fight. There's no anything except for the constant ongoing one between Ashley and I.
I was going to say, there's no secret fight. There is the blatant, publicized fight. Casey's the worst, but, that's not why that's not why we took the break.
Right, exactly. We just needed time off. And about a month ago, Ashley messages me and goes, "Hey, Casey, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct, and I think there might be Animal Crossing in it. So let's stop podcasting for a month in anticipation." And wouldn't you know, you were right on.
Yeah, that was it. I said, you know what, Casey? I'm so fed up. I'm not going to podcast again until Animal Crossing is announced. I refuse.
Guys, we're so happy. We hope you're as excited as we are, because as we all know, this is the Friday Night Nicktoons / Animal Crossing podcast.
/ honestly, just Nintendo garbage that we want to bring up.
That's true, but
Animal
mostly
Crossing
Animal
especially.
Crossing,
Yes.
with a hint of Celeste and Stardew Valley. But yeah, we are back. Last time, way back, we watched our 5th episode of the Avatar: The Last Airbender rewatch. We'll get back to that next week. I know you guys were probably expecting another Avatar because we had been gone, and you might not have remembered what was coming up next. I certainly thought we were doing another Avatar episode, and I was like, oh, right, we had that one Angry Beavers episode to do. And thank goodness we are, because it's a good one.
It is. It's a perfect one to come back to. We also did put out our weekly Twitter poll asking whether you guys would want to be friends with young Boomy or old Boomy. And old got 78% of the vote, which I was a little surprised about, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I voted for. It definitely makes the most sense. But, I thought it would be a little more contentious, but I guess not. Plus, if you aren't actually rewatching the show with us, you might not really remember young Boomy very well.
That's fair. Just, he's definitely an old man, but he is a blast in his old years, man. I would be friends with any Boomy, but yeah. I would stick by old if I had to pick.
Same with me. And this week, as I said earlier, we're sticking with the Angry Beavers. We have an episode that is the Season 1 finale. When Ashley was in New York a few months ago, we watched the entirety of Season 1 of this show in 2 sittings, and it was delightful. So we might tie in some of that entire discussion into this episode without really doing any spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to spoil Angry Beavers in,
True.
in any real sense. There's usually not plot points that are stunning and shocking and life-changing, but that being said, I'm definitely excited to be talking about this one. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at FNN_podcast and Facebook.com/FNN podcast. And also review us on Apple Podcasts so others can find the show. And be sure to check out our YouTube page, especially if you're doing that Avatar watch. We will eventually be reading through some of your guys' comments and sort of getting your guys' gauge on the show as well there. So, there we go.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Now let's get started.
From the Nicktoon Animation Studio in Hollywood.
All right. Our episode this week, again, from Angry Beavers, is entitled Food of the Clods. It's from Season 1, Episode 13B, also that season's finale. Originally aired November 15th, 1997. And you know what, Casey? Hold on, I just realized something.
Is it about the title?
No, we didn't do an episode for my birthday this year because of all of our pushback, so now you don't have to be mad because neither of us had a birthday episode.
Nice. Yeah, that's so much more fun than both of us getting a birthday episode. We're just getting rid of it for everyone. It's the true American way, a real zero tolerance policy.
Anyway, sorry, I was just thinking about, usually I think about how old I was at the time an episode came out.
Right, yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah,
continuing on.
Well, I was thinking about the title, and I'm not really sure what it has to do with anything, to be honest. Maybe it's a pun on one of the titles of the movies.
So I guess Food of the Gods is a what is it even? It's a something. I think it's a book. Yeah, it's a book. I have no idea what it has to do with, or if it has to do with, or it's film? It's film?
It sounds like a horror movie.
You know what? It looks like it might be,
Oh yeah, it's a book, but it seems to have nothing to do with
yeah, I'm like
anything.
trying to,
And what are clods?
I wasn't
clod?
sure on that one either.
A clod is a lump of earth or clay or a stupid person. Okay, great. So,
Okay,
food of the clods.
I think that the plot of the movie that they watch is very vaguely similar. Because it talks about how
gotta be it. You're right,
there's
yeah.
food that they feed to chickens, and it makes the humans get really large as a result. So, like, I think
And
that
they're
it's...
trying to, like, seduce the volcano.
Yeah, so loosely based on that. So that's your fun fact if we had one for this week, guys.
Wow. Well, after that roundabout discussion, I do feel enlightened. I had no idea what the title was a reference to. But in this one, Norb sleepwalks while watching scary movies, and Dag intends to prove his brother's crazy case. What does that even mean?
Who
What's
knows?
a crazy case? Basically,
What do you
Dag is
expect
just
from,
trying to prove to him that he's sleepwalking, and Norb doesn't believe him.
Yeah, and trying to prove to him that, like, he shouldn't do this and that to keep from
Right.
sleepwalking, and he's like, oh, no, it's whatever. Oh, it's great. It's great. First thing I think we need to say, though, is just that the TV world of Angry Beavers is one of my favorite things. We talked about it to death for the day the world got really screwed up, but it is so good.
It is, and yeah, that's a big reason why we picked this episode in the first place. And we, of course, have talked to death how much we love The Day the World Got Really Screwed Up, the Halloween Angry Beavers episode we did ages ago. And that features, if not the same characters, a very similar cast in this TV universe of the Angry Beavers. And it's so different. Like, the humans in Angry Beavers look terrible. Like, they don't look like people at all. But the humans in their TV universe look like pretty conventional, like comic book characters almost.
Yeah, and there's always this intentionally just deadpan male who's like the male lead, it always feels like, and
Yep.
he's always just saying, like, everything he says is just deadpan. Like,
Yep.
and now we are going to go, like, just like ridiculous. And then there's the woman that always just says ridiculous things.
She's
I think
just like the wide-eyed ingenue, like arm candy, like right off. She's like, no, don't go, right at the beginning of this episode, and Norb is watching, and she says, don't go. I'd be left without you if you were gone.
Yes.
Just really obvious stuff like that.
But it's so well done. And so anything that has their characters going on. We also always have a scientist who just has garbage.
Absolute nonsense science,
Just-
yeah.
The glasses, what did they say, worked as makeshift petri dishes, and that's where the bacteria grew. And I was like, okay, well.
And I love when they'll have like a long scientific monologue and then another character will just go, exactly.
Yes. It's so tropey and it's so beautiful, and I love that we get a bit of it, but I also love just the interplay between the two. So we have all that going on, right? We have just Norb watching various things before he falls asleep at night, and then he kind of wakes up and acts them out, right? That's like the general gist of what's going on in the Beavers world, but I love the going back and forth between the two. It's done really well.
You know, it's almost like the Tree Dome, what's it called? It's not hibernation, it's a similar episode, though, where Sandy is hibernating in the I'm Dirty Dan stuff in SpongeBob.
yeah.
It's a very similar concept of Sandy living out this, like, complicated fiction during her sleep.
Yeah, and that's essentially what Norb is doing here. That's actually a really good connection.
And then Dag, just like SpongeBob and Patrick, is kind of forced to play along. Norbert is like spraying Daggett with water and thinking Dag is some like evil villain, and Dag is saying, "Okay, you got me. I'm shrunk. I'm wet, but I'm shrunk."
Yes.
Because like they decide that they're playing with height, I guess, or like size in general. Like they shrink someone down really small, and then they're like, "But if we reverse shrink her, she'll be really big." And then the other character's like, "Exactly."
It's, oh my goodness. And yeah, Norb is just, partially because he's eaten so many snacks, I guess, and he's just fallen asleep by the TV.
Yeah.
And this is actually Casey's note, but I agree with it 100%. This is definitely one of those episodes that shows you that Dag is not the quote-unquote annoying one, that Norb
Yeah.
has just as much capacity to be the worst. He talks all pseudo-fancy and whatnot, but he is just as trash.
He's
like,
just
equally
as
trash.
spooty.
Yes. Oh my god, they are such a spooty little pair they are. And in this one, this episode specifically, Norb is just like, "Nope, I'm fine. You're just being whatever. Like, I can do whatever I want." And
Yep, and Daggett
completely
being the
disregarding it.
responsible one. Yeah, so it's
Yes.
like they're both just complete buffoons and struggling to live in adulthood. And in that sense, it's kind of relatable for an older audience. I certainly feel like Norb and Daggett sometimes, like insurance. Oh man, I don't know. But it is funny how they still consult their parents' advice from the past all the time. Like, Norb says that Daggett keeps saying that he can't wake a sleepwalker because they'll go all, and I quote, "bahooties." Which is just in that charming Angry Beavers lexicon.
I mean, wouldn't they go bahooties, Casey?
Yeah, I mean, I would, certainly. And then as, like, Norb just soaked Dag, and he's walking away kind of upset, and he goes, "You're lucky Mom said to never wake a sleepwalker." Like, he's still listening to his mom's advice, who we saw in the very first episode, which, if you haven't seen the pilot of Angry Beavers, go watch it. It sets up this show so well.
Yeah, and it throws you in so quick.
Yeah.
That they literally, the moment they give birth to a new beaver, they just like kick out their old beavers is basically what happens.
Yeah.
So when they're whatever age they are, Norb and Dag just get kicked out of their home to find a new one. And that entire experience and how they end up in the tree is honestly some of the best parts of the show. I feel like it was
you see how their house is quote unquote built, and how that ends up happening, the neighborhood they end up in, if you could call it that, their neck of the woods, so to speak. And yeah, it's delightful, so go watch that. This whole show is just delightful. There are only a few bad episodes, and we in our binge, we didn't watch the whole series, but we found 2 bad episodes that were paired together, and both were like direct copies of actual existing Ren and Stimpy episodes, so we have no idea what happened there.
It was also really wild because we haven't seen that much of Ren and Stimpy, and both of them were like direct parallels to Ren and Stimpy episodes that we've seen. So like out of the 4 episodes of Ren and Stimpy I've seen in my life, 2 of those paired up with these 2 episodes. It was very strange. So we don't need to get into those necessarily, but the rest of season 1 was gold. Brilliant. All around. Yep. I remember we were watching it and we were like, is there even a single bad episode? And then we hit it, like, right after.
And then there was the second one, and we were like, are they all going to be bad now? Is this a pattern? And we know there are good ones in season 3. But,
yeah, I wouldn't mind, I mean, just continuing to watch the rest of the show, not necessarily in Avatar fashion, but like we should just
keep doing it
at some point,
either on our own or still periodically, because I was crunching the numbers as we got our podcast back up and running, and every other episode of Friday Night Nicktoons has either been Hey Arnold or SpongeBob.
Wow.
Half of all, actually more than that. And then everything else fits in that other 50%. Although we know that Avatar by the end will be the most, with the 60 episodes.
We should like build out a pie chart or something with that.
Right.
It'd be fun to look at.
And this is our, by comparison, Angry Beavers is now 10% of our history of the show as of this episode. So 1 out of every 10. We do it pretty frequently.
Yeah, and it deserves it for sure. It's, again, it's a perfect episode for us to sort of break our hiatus with. It is always just so watchable. Like, I'm always excited to watch some beavers in my life.
Me too. And yeah, they are both the annoying one. If this were like a Billy and Mandy episode, it would just be Billy tormenting Mandy the whole time. If it were Cat Dog, it would be Dog sleepwalking and Cat. Although actually a sleepwalking episode of Cat Dog would be brilliant because the other would be forced to like be dragged along with the antics.
Oh yeah. That would actually be pretty wild.
There might be one, who knows?
I was gonna say, I'm gonna Google it, we'll see. But basically, Dag is getting sick of it, so he decides that he's also going to join in. He's going to eat a bunch of food, and he's going to sleepwalk alongside Norb, right? They're both kind of like in this weird interplay between being in the movie and being in real life. Mm-hmm. And it's really well done, right? Like, we see them in the screen, we see them in black and white, and then we see the reality, and the transition is really fun between sort of them, again, actually being there and them sort of play looking like they're in the TV. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it is that sort of, like, did they actually join the show? Like, it really does, we lose our sense of reality with them, which is great. I do just for a moment want to talk about the second clip we get from these TV movies, and it's unclear to me if they're all one movie. I think they're all different.
I want to say they're all different.
Right, like each night he's watching a different movie, but
necessarily clear.
But on the second one, our usual protagonist is going, or no, the scientist is going, to us, they're monsters. To them, they're fighting each other to be the bride of the volcano. And our deadpan protagonist just goes, poor she-devils.
It's so good.
The bride of the volcano? Like, is that a Food of the Gods reference? It says they're in the idea. Amazon.
Look, honestly, the entirety of what's going on there is just this wild extravaganza of madness, but I love it. That's what I love, too. They always kind of throw us into the middle of these plots, right, of these fake TV shows. Just enough, like, with almost no context, but just enough context for it to still be funny.
It's like when you overhear a snippet of a really specific conversation on the street and you just have to know more.
Yes, that's like everything that happens. So we don't know why they're just looking at these Amazonian women who are trying to eat things out of the river to become the bride of the volcano. Like, who knows? Who knows what logic's going on here? But it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then we just kind of have the beavers falling into that, right? Because it's the same one that they fall into, right? Or does it switch to a new movie?
I think it is that one because they're, like, at a river, just like the...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and he refers to them as the she-devils.
You're right. Okay, I couldn't remember for sure.
Because there is a commercial first in which the narrator says, a receding hairline might be the reason why you can't rumba. And if that can't get you to go take a Latin dance class, I don't know what... Or no, it's not even... It's like both, right? It's like a hair...
Yes, Casey, when you want to get your hair back and learn to dance at the same time, it's a common problem.
Oh, that's funny.
It's hurting millions of Americans, and I'm sad that you're treating this like a joke, Casey. It's a very serious set of conditions here.
I'll be there soon enough.
I'll
have to leave the dance halls soon enough once I lose the rest of this.
But yeah, so they're eating all the food in the world, and again we kind of have like the monsters, they've changed, and we sort of have like, again, it's almost like the TV characters are recognizing that the beavers are entering into the TV universe, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's this weird, again, loss of reality situation that plays out really well, but they're just forcing food down their throats like wild, and I think the line is something about them hitting critical mass.
Yes, which is a great line, yeah, because then we cut to them just stuffing their faces, which I guess is the food part of the Clods, and they're the Clods. Okay, I get it now, I get it.
It's so good. It's so good. And I don't even remember exactly how this gets resolved, if it really gets resolved.
I think they just cut to the next morning after they're, like, trippy
chaos,
final
right?
sequence. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're both sleepwalking essentially, and it's because of this food. It's unclear, but like it's when Dag joins him that he starts sleepwalking too. And in the morning, Dag says, "You started the whole thing with your spooty sleepwalking," and they're both sick. Yeah. And they keep blaming each other, and we have this orchestra swell that plays them out like a cheesy movie. And, it was just wonderful.
It's also great. They're watching the next movie, and it's like the narrator is even grossed out by it. He's like, it's the oozing flesh of the rotting hand.
Yeah, well, it's that same narrator from the the day the world got really screwed up, where they have the outro of that episode, and he's like, "This is a plot so convoluted that even the narrator like won't tolerate it." It's like, I read the script on the way over, and I was like, "Really? This is what we're doing? It doesn't make an iota of sense." And it just keeps going. That might be the hardest laugh I've ever had on this show, is when we watched that episode.
I pray that he shows up in more of Angry Beavers, this narrator.
Yeah.
That's obviously, like, that specific moment is his prime time to shine, but he is gold everywhere he shows. Like,
Yeah.
just beautiful. Just the way that he's a narrator that you can tell, like, hates what he's saying half the time, right?
And like
he's
is a person. Like, I feel like voiceover
Yes.
artists are taught to be as neutral as and pleasant as possible, and he puts such an opinion on everything, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Like, the title of the movie he can't even get out because he's like, this is so gross. Like,
Yeah, and and in one of the commercials, there's a license plate that says Beaver Fur, BVRFUR. I thought that was
Yes.
cute.
There's a lot of little, I don't know what you want to call them, just little details, Easter eggs, whatever, thrown throughout this show that are just fun little tidbits. And, oh man, it really is. Guys, it is good to be back. It is good to be Nicktuning again. And this is definitely the show to do it with, because if you're ever having a bad day, I swear, just, like, watch some Angry Beavers, and, like, how bad can it possibly be?
Totally. Same with Rugrats, I think. Although Rugrats creeps some people out, and I get that. But, you know...
If you do the right episode. Like, if
Yeah.
you watch the home movies video, I feel
Oh.
like, how can you be in a bad mood after
That's
watching
so
that?
true. And yeah,
Anyways.
of course, next week we'll have our whiplash going to Avatar, being like, remember that hilarious and silly Angry Beavers episode? Well, now here's a, brutal episode about what it means to be a part of a family who's committed war crimes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Definitely two different sides of a technically same coin, but almost like, I mean, that's kind of the reason we have the whole debate, right? Where does Avatar sit on the Nicktoons
Right,
spectrum? Because
right.
it is something else.
And I'm honestly liking the back and forth. It helps us get both sides of just the Nicktoon canon.
Yeah, and I do too. I feel like we might, I think, increase the density of Avatar once it gets really intense.
Yeah.
But I do like having sort of the break between it and sort of the time to remember the other half of Nicktoons, because there's just a lot there.
Totally.
If we ever have an overabundance of time, maybe we could do more episodes, but I just feel like it's once a week is really where we're landed for the
enough.
foreseeable future.
Everyone has so much content to watch on their lists anyway that
That's true.
we don't want to throw too much at them.
Yeah. And if you've already watched on without us, we totally do not blame you. I figure even if you've seen it before, I know for us, just like going back talking about it is still a blast. So
Well, if
hopefully
you
you
think
guys still
about
like
it, even if we were on schedule, it'll have been 12 weeks since we started our watch through. That's more than enough. You can watch Avatar in a weekend, so like people
yeah.
might be on their third or fourth rewatches like I am now at this point.
True.
But yeah, the slow burn of it, I'm learning a lot. Like going through it just every other week, it's forcing me to kind of live with each episode for longer, and I feel like I'm internalizing it more.
Yeah, definitely the binge you get, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still phenomenal, but you definitely kind of just consume it all
Right.
a little quick, perhaps.
Like everything seems crystal clear to me right now. Like they find the Avatar, they go to the Southern Water Tribe, they then go off on their journey but make a pit stop at the Southern Air Temple, and then they go to Omashu, and that's where we are. You know, it's just all very
almost
crystal clear.
plays the pacing out. I'm realizing now we are definitely not talking about the Beavers episode anymore. Not upset,
That's
but
true. That is
perhaps
true.
we have nothing left to say on this episode. Is that fair?
I think that certainly is fair. Yeah, we got a little bahooties there, everyone. Sorry.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
We gotta get some bahooties going. Also, bahooties. That's my goal is to use the word bahooties more frequently in my life.
You'd think we'd
At
be
least on this
used to their
podcast.
weird lingo, and like as soon as he said bahooties, I burst out laughing. It's like,
It's
what?
so gold. I'm telling you, Casey, it's gonna at least talking to you, because I don't know if normal people can handle a word like bahooties and like
Yeah,
not
right.
die, but like
I do think
It's
our
happening.
reaction to the Animal Crossing reveal last week, the only way it can be described is bahooties.
oh my goodness. Okay, guys, just a quick. We're already off on the tangent, so quick sub-tangent here. If you hate Animal Crossing, you're wrong, and you
Yep.
can stop listening now.
100%. We do not want your listenership if you don't love Animal Crossing. I actively want you to stop listening to the podcast if you don't play Animal Crossing.
But actually, no.
We got jokes. We love all our listeners.
But it was that reveal was like I almost cried tears of joy.
Yeah.
Like I was so unprepared.
I made so many noises.
Oh god! And then for those of you that didn't watch it, there was a fake out where they made it seem like they were just adding an Animal Crossing character to Smash, and I was so infuriated. I was so like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done with Nintendo
I felt
games."
my heart break into a million pieces, and even logically the whole time I was like, it would be stupid, they wouldn't do it, but then I thought, I love Nintendo, but they've done a lot of stupid things before, and it would not be past them to blow this, you know?
Honestly, though, I've seen it before, so
We'll
Not quite.
We'll have to build another Friday Night Nicktoons room in our houses in
oh yeah,
in the new Switch game.
I'm so excited.
We
I'm
have
so
one
excited
in
for
New Leaf.
rebuilding literally everything in a town.
Yeah, my
Soon
roommate
enough,
and
this
I
is
are
gonna be
starting
like-
City Folk tonight. Our copy just came off Amazon, and we're gonna start it back up just to get back in that sort of console land.
Guys, this is gonna become like the Nicktoons / Animal Crossing. Like it'll be like every other week we're either going to talk about Avatar or Animal Crossing. I swear to God.
Okay, who would be the cutest Nick character to become a villager?
Oh my God. Oof.
There's a lot of options.
You know, first thing that came to mind, and like I don't even know what it would look like, was Appa. Like if you made like a smaller version of him.
Oh my god. I thought of Darwin right away, because he basically already is. He's rude
he would fit in so well.
His like that Klasky Chupo body shape is like kind of perfect for the Animal Crossing figures.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're on topic, guys. We are back, and we are focused, and we are ready to talk about everything that's on our minds.
We
So
sure
hopefully
are.
that's, I guess if you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, you're used to this by now. I would
Right.
think.
This is what we do. This is what you come here for. And we at least tied Animal Crossing into Nicktoons, you know? Picture Spike and Fifi living together in an Animal Crossing house, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Now I want this.
Yeah.
It like would literally make zero sense to ever happen, and
Are you
like
saying
people would
Nicktoons
probably.
Racing isn't enough for you?
Oh my goodness.
Wait,
Is
is that
that-
out yet?
I was literally just about to ask. I almost like. How many dollars is it? Because if it's cheap enough, I would consider.
$40.
Well, we're gonna wait for it to hit clearance bins, kids.
October 23rd.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it'll drop to like $5 in a year.
That's what I'm saying. I'll wait for it to hit the bargain bins of the world, and that's when Casey and I will pick it up and we'll live stream us playing it or something. I don't even know.
It looks terrible. It looks like a 2005 computer game.
I think it was, to be fair. I think like there actually was a terrible
Yeah.
version of this back in the day, but like man, there is no reason for this to come back. Oh god, it is.
Yeah, but the racers are kind of fun. We got SpongeBob and Patrick, Tommy, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It says Hey
Oh, you know
Arnold is
the-
represented, but I don't see him.
I see a picture of this Rugrats world that's actually kind of cute. The background here.
Oh, with the
Oh, I see.
puzzles? With the puzzle
Yeah.
pieces on the ground?
I also see a have you seen this pig Abner sign in the name of the city I'm blanking on, but so
In
now I
Hillwood?
almost yeah, Hillwood, that's the one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm looking
I
at these
promise
pictures.
you-
Are you on Polygon?
Yes.
Yeah, these are... Okay, this actually doesn't look... Okay, then I saw Helga.
It's, okay, I'm still sticking to bargain bin prices, but
Yeah.
I feel like I will get enough joy out of it to pay exactly bargain bin prices
Yeah, we
for
should
it.
at least play it together at some point.
Absolutely.
Sandy
Only one
looks
of us should
cute.
buy it, but
Right.
I'll take the hit. I will say $20 or less, and I'll
Yeah.
pick it up. So
Yeah,
if anybody
same.
notices this being on sale for $20 or less, hit us up on Twitter. Let me know, and I will stick to my word. Okay. Now that we've talked about everything that we could ever talk about, any other unrelated topics, or
What
do we
else
hit them
has
all?
happened in the last month? We got a new live-action Avatar. We'll talk about that in the conclusion. Static Cling, we still don't really know anything.
Yeah, it supposedly was going to be released in 2018, but we're hitting the end of that, and we still don't have a date on it, so it's really kind of up in the air.
Yeah, and the Invader Zim.
I think that was slated for 2019 in the first place, wasn't
right.
it? Or was it not even given a date?
We might have made that up. I think we just liked the linearness of the 3 years, 3 new movies.
It's very plausible,
And
honestly.
now we got this Rugrats live action thing with the Rugrats reboot. It really is a weird time in this podcast history, because even 2.5 years ago when we started this, it's like Nicktoons were kind of irrelevant on the national stage. There was no
Yeah.
Jungle movie announcement yet. There was, really nothing happening. The shows were bad. Loud House hadn't even started yet, I think. And now it's like this resurgence.
And I just don't even... Man, so much is going on, and I don't even know what to be excited about, but I'm
Right.
excited about all of it and also skeptical about all of it.
If it's
simultaneously.
good, I'll be happy. I don't generally love reboot culture because I would always rather see a good new show than a good reboot, but I don't know, it would make me very happy to see the new Rugrats be excellent. But like I've said before, I've never seen all of Rugrats, so why am I here clamoring for more Rugrats when more Rugrats exists already for me? I don't have to wait.
Yeah, so much more Rugrats. I mean, and I don't even know if I want a modernized version
Right.
of Rugrats necessarily.
Do the babies use Snapchat or Instagram stories now, I guess?
Yeah, because Hey Arnold was an incomplete story, so I was
Right.
happy to see The Jungle get made, and Craig Bartlett had wanted it for years, and
Mm-hmm.
so seeing that story get its sort of full circle that we were missing out on, and as a person who has seen every episode of Hey Arnold, I can rightfully say, man, I wish that movie got made,
I still haven't. I should just do that on my own.
It's totally worth doing.
I probably have 10 episodes left of Hey Arnold tops, but I've never done a full watch through.
Yeah, and it's not as linear as As Told by Ginger by any means, but there's certainly some sort of a plot going on. Specifically, though, the things leading up to The Jungle are definitely all laid out
and we've
there.
watched those, and the
Yes.
story of the neighborhood is linear. Tenants move in, they move out. There's different things that are focused on, but yeah, episode to episode, not a whole lot.
Yeah, but man, where was I going with this? Oh, so that one I was okay with. I generally don't love reboot culture either, unless, again, if you feel like these characters have more to say or something new to say. I don't really know that Rugrats does, right? they've had how many episodes in total?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't really...
I think the longest running Nicktoon, maybe SpongeBob has passed it by now.
But it was quite a while, from 91 to 2004. We're talking just a ton, right? Tons of episodes. A total of 172 episodes over a 13-year run. So, yeah, and I'm willing to bet that anybody who claimed that there was any reason to make new Rugrats has not seen all 172 episodes of the show, right? That's obscene.
They saw dollar signs, yeah, and But it is a weird one. I don't know. And same with Rocco. It's like we rolled our eyes at the whole, Joe Murray saying that these characters have more to say, and we were like, what were they saying in the first place? And I get it now. I think Rocco's is one of the most biting social commentary shows Nick ever had.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how it plays in a, even if like the setting isn't necessarily modernized, but I'm sure to some extent it will be. I think that there will be things that he'll say that are more relevant to modern day.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see if he can get away with as much as he could back in the day, right?
Right. And yeah, with a show like Rocco's Modern Life, where the point is that he's kind of an old soul in a world that is moving too fast, you have to update it to 2018 if you're doing a new movie of it.
So that one I'm actually really excited for.
Me too.
And I think part of that too is just that, again, even though you could argue, well, you haven't seen all of Rocco, so why aren't you saying that when you're saying it about Rugrats? Like, Rugrats doesn't really say anything new in any of the episodes, right? They're always great, and they do say different things. I don't want to say, like, it's the same episode 172 times, but, like, there's sort of the same general arcs going, right? Like, we still get the same joy out of watching new episodes, but Rocco's is definitely a different flavor within all of their episodes. You know what I mean?
Right. And there are bland episodes of Rocco's too. Like, I don't particularly have an interest in watching all of that one.
No. Anyways.
Yeah, I think we're caught up. That's about a month's worth of banter.
Oh, goodness, guys. Can you see that we've missed this? We've missed talking about nothing to you guys, and hopefully, this will probably be a little bit longer than average too, so you guys don't even have to feel bad for what we missed out on, right? We're all good?
Yeah, good. Let's just keep marathoning it to the length of all the missed episodes that it would have been. So let's go for solid 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
I probably could talk about Nicktoons for 3 hours if you forced me to.
I'm sure we have, honestly.
Well, yeah, we've done it for 3 days straight. That's how long it would take to listen to us start to finish. Isn't that scary? Like, someone could have locked us in a room for a weekend and hit record from a Friday to a Sunday, and it would have been the same amount of time as this podcast.
That's wild. That really is. And thanks to everyone who's stuck with us through it. I know we've had a couple of breaks here and there, but overall, we keep it chugging along. We keep it going. The content is still there. We still have so much, too. That's one of the exciting things, too, is we've never stopped because we're like, well, we're all out of Nicktoons.
That's true. When we get back, we're like, oh my god, what if we switch to daily? What if we do this? Like, we need to cover more episodes. Because the truth is, there's thousands of Nicktoon episodes, and we will never get to all of them.
No, but we are slowly hitting the best of them as much as we can. I guess with that, too, if there are any best of the best episodes that we've missed out on of any show that you love, any Nicktoon show, let us know. Otherwise, we'll just keep digging for them, but I do love hearing what people's favorite episodes of different shows are, and we'll definitely, try and add them into our queue.
Especially if we haven't done a show you love in a while. Like, I always appreciate it when someone messages or emails us and is like, hey, love the show, but you guys are ignoring my favorite show, Danny Phantom, Wild Thornberries, Doug. Ugh, God help us.
Yeah, the day, you're watching the wrong podcast if you want us to. But you know what? If there is some outstanding episode of Doug that we've missed out on, let us know. Be.
It's so, iconic. There has to be just a brilliant episode of Doug, right?
I hope. But let us know, and we'll see if we've been missing out on some gem. We definitely are not dying to get back to it, but if you tell us that there's an episode that is worthwhile, we'll throw it on the list. We're open-minded here.
Yeah, I'll bet it's the one we did the longest ago.
That sounds plausible, other than the one-season wonders and whatnot.
Yeah, of our 2 top tiers of shows, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's hard to motivate myself to get back to Doug. It is not great.
Oh no, As Told by Ginger is the one we haven't done.
Well, okay,
but that's different.
I was gonna say that had its whole day and everything.
We should bring it back at some point. It's been long enough.
Yeah, I feel like that we have so much content that we haven't talked about,
right.
period, that, like...
And Avatar is more serious, and Ginger is more serious, so we like
Yeah.
lighthearted in between. Yeah.
So we'll see, but eventually.
For
All right.
sure. Yeah, I think that's enough banter.
Let's get to the conclusion already. That's what people have been thinking for a while now, Casey. Maybe not. Maybe you love it. Maybe you could listen to this for 3 hours or 3 days, but I think it's about time.
Maybe we need a banter section, but until then... Alright, our Twitter poll for this week is, should you wake up a sleepwalker? Is your answer no, they'll go bahooties, or yes, they're a danger to themselves and others? So, do you agree or disagree with the Beavers' parents?
Which, to remind you guys, we talked about an episode about sleepwalking and beavers. It was a while ago, but we did it. So, in case this is feeling out of nowhere, that's where that one came from. Next week, we are getting back on track with Avatar: The Last Airbender, episode 6. And also, I'm sure you guys have heard, there's a live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series coming to Netflix. The original creator, I believe, or at least...
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them are working on it, which gives me hope. But we all know that there's a certain live-action something that we won't watch. And so I think we're all feeling a little skeptical. I know I am, again, we've talked about all the different types of reboot situations. I'm hoping that it goes well. I'm a little bit interested to see how bending looks in live action when it's done right. Because we've seen how it looks when it's done wrong.
That's true.
So I'm interested to see if, like, modern day technology can make it look as stunning as I think it just looks in the animated world.
Yeah.
That's the big one that I feel like it works so beautifully when it's animated that I just don't know if it'll ever really look as good in person, but we'll see.
And with no offense meant to younger listeners here, I kind of hope they just make it their Game of Thrones. Like, I obviously they don't need to go that far with it, but I would like to see an Avatar universe that isn't restricted by TV ratings, that isn't pandering to any specific age, and it's like, this will be as intense or violent as it needs to be in every moment.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It definitely does not need to be geared towards children. Mm-hmm. I do hope that they don't make it so serious that they lose the lightheartedness of it.
Yeah,
though, right?
It shouldn't go full
play.
gritty. That's true. Yeah.
Right, like there's an interplay here. It's part of what makes the show great is that we have this childhood dynamic going on alongside all of the war and whatnot. So it's hard to, it's hard enough that they got it done right once. So I'm always skeptical if they can recreate it and make it right a second time. But I'm hopeful. We'll definitely watch it regardless.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see how that plays out.
Maybe it'll come out right as we finish our Avatar watch, and we'll have to add it to our list.
Avatar will never end. It's fine. Fine by me, honestly.
It will be cool, though, speaking of all these reboots, with the new Avatar series and with the new Rugrats, we can just start discussing them just like the old stuff. It's just weird to think about currently airing things.
Yeah. Man, it really is a wild time to be alive for Nicktoons.
Mm-hmm. And I think Fairly Odd Parents is still technically on, or is that over now?
Is it?
I know they said they were done, but I don't know if the final episode has happened yet.
If the final episode has happened, we should watch it, I argue.
I think so too. Season 10.
It looks like the last episode was February of 2017, so I feel like that's long enough ago.
Yeah, maybe that is it then. Let's see if there's a date for the airing, just on their main Wikipedia. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Officially been canceled. Okay, so I think we should at some point.
Yeah, watch
I know we don't love
one.
new, but just
to formally say goodbye to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even if we don't love it, I think it deserves that.
Right.
It deserves a goodbye, and I hope that there was some sort of, I don't know, something. Well, we'll give it a shot. So maybe I forget what we have scheduled out to, but maybe let's throw that on to our next scheduled event.
We've also got our social media pages. Yet again, we've got a Twitter, where you hopefully saw our announcement that we're back. Thanks to everyone who shared that. We got a Facebook page, which I'll start using more again now that we're back. We've got YouTube, which this will be uploaded to, and of course, Apple Podcasts and however else you get your podcasts. So all those reviews and comments are much appreciated. Thank you.
And with all of that said and done, and you guys hearing everything about everything you've ever wanted, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.